Configure IPv4 and IPv6 static and default routes. Addressing table, Edge router ISP1, ISP2, Edge router ISP1, ISP2, PCA PCB customer server, PCA PCB customer server. Configure IPv4 static and floating static default routes. Configure an IPv4 static default route. On Edge router, click on Edge router. Configure a directly connected IPv4 default static route. Okay. Enter Enable Configure Terminal. On Global Configuration Mode, default static route, IP route. Default static is 0000 and 0000. Directly connected. This primary default route should be through router ISP1. Okay. For Edge router, configure through router ISP1. This is ISP1. And directly connected on this link, use the local interface on Edge router, serial 000. Okay, directly connected uses local interface, serial 000. Space serial 000. Enter. And don't worry about this message. Now configure an IPv4 floating static default route. Also on Edge router, configure a directly connected IPv4 floating static default route. Okay, static default route, IP route, default static. Okay, directly connected. This default route should be through router ISP2. Okay, ISP2. You are configuring Edge router and the default route should be through router ISP2. ISP2 is this. And on this link, the local interface is serial 001. Serial 001. Serial 001. And don't forget, it should have an administrative distance of 5. Okay, enter. Okay. When you modify the default administrative distance to a different number than 1, this is floating static route. Configure IPv6 static and floating static default routes. Configure an IPv6 static default route. On Edge router, configure a NetHub static default route. Okay, on IPv6 route, the default route on IPv6 is : 0. NetHub. Okay, this primary default route should be through router ISP1. Okay, Edge router ISP1 and NetHub will use the NetHub IP address. The NetHub IP address for Edge router is the IP address of serial 000 on ISP1, the IPv6 address. ISP1 serial 000 on IPv6. A : 1 : 2001 DB8 A : 1 : 1. Okay, use the host IPv6 address. Enter. Configure an IPv6 floating static default route. On edge router, NetHop IPv6 floating static default route, the route should be via router ISP2. Okay, this is edge router, this is ISP2. Use NetHop IPv6. For edge router, the NetHop IP address is the IPv6 address of serial 001 on ISP2. Serial on ISP2 serial 001, IPv6 address A2::1. IPv6 root, okay, is default root, ::0, NetHop IP address via router ISP2, okay, ISP2 serial 001, this A2::1, 2001 DB8 A2::1. Use administrative distance of 5, enter. Configure IPv4 static and floating static routes to the internal LANs. Configure IPv4 static routes to the internal LANs. These are the internal LANs, LAN 1 and LAN 2. On ISP1, okay, click on ISP1. Enter enable configure terminal, global configuration mode. Configure NetHop IPv4 static route to LAN 1 network. Okay, IP route. The destination is LAN 1 network. Okay, this is the LAN 1 network. 192.168.10.16.28. 192.168.10.16.28 is subnet mask 240. Okay, through edge router, you are configuring ISP1 through edge router, and it's this link, and use the NetHop IPv4. So then NetHop for ISP1 is the IP address of serial 000 on edge router. Edge router serial 000 10.10.10.2. Okay, space 10.10.10.2. Enter. On ISP1, configure NetHop IPv4 static route to LAN 2 network through the edge router. This is LAN 2, 192.168.11.32.27. Okay. IP route 192.168.11.32.27 to 55 to 55 to 55 to 24. Through edge router, okay, for on ISP1 through the edge router, and this link, the NetHop IP address for ISP1 is serial 000 on edge router. And remember, serial 000 on edge router is 10.10.10.2. Okay, on ISP1, 10.10.10.2. Okay, enter. Configure IPv4 floating and static routes to the internal LANs. On ISP1, configure a directly connected floating and static route to LAN 1 through ISP2 router. Okay, on ISP1, LAN 1. This is LAN 1, 10.16.28. IP route 192.168.10.16. 255, 255, 255, 28 is 240. Through ISP2 router. Okay, this is ISP1 through ISP2 router. And use directly connected floating static routes. Okay, directly connected uses on this link the local interface on ISP1, gigabit 00. Administrative distance of 5, enter. On ISP1, configure a directly connected floating and static route to LAN 2. LAN 2, 192.168.11.32.27. IP route 192.168.11.32.27 is 224. Through ISP2. This is ISP2. With directly connected, so use the local interface on ISP1. Gigabit 00. Administrative distance of 5. Enter. Configure IPv6 static and floating static routes to the internal LANs. Configure IPv6 static routes to the internal LANs. On ISP1, configure a NetHop IPv6 static route to the LAN 1 network through the edge router. Okay, on ISP1, IPv6 route, LAN 1 network is the destination. LAN 1 network is this 1 column 10 column column. Okay, the destination 2001 DB8 1 column 10 column column prefix 64, the network. Through edge router NetHop IPv6. Okay, you are configuring ISP1 through edge router. So in this link, use the NetHop. The NetHop in this link for ISP1 is IPv6 address of serial 000 on edge router. Edge router serial 000 IPv6 A1 column column 2 2001 DB8 2001 DB8 A1 column column 2. Enter. On ISP1, configure a NetHop IPv6 static route to LAN 2 network. LAN 2 network is this on IPv6 1 11 column column prefix 64. IPv6 route 2001 DB8 1 column 11 column column prefix 64 space through the edge router. Okay, this is ISP1 through the edge router. NetHop IPv6 is serial 000 IPv6 address is A1 column column 2 2001 DB8 A1 column column 2 space okay, enter. Configure IPv6 floating and static routes to the internal LANs. Also on ISP, configure NetHop IPv6 floating and static routes to LAN 1 through ISP2 router. Okay, on ISP, configure through ISP2. Okay, destination LAN 1. LAN 1 is this 1 10 column column 64. IPv6 route 2001 DB8 1 column 10 column column 64. Okay, NetHop. Okay, on this link, the NetHop for ISP1 is IPv6 address of 00 on ISP2. IPv6 address of 00 on ISP2, IPv6 FF column column 2 2001 DB8 F column 2. And don't forget administrative distance of 5. Enter. An IP on ISP1, configure a NetHop IPv6 floating and static route to LAN 2. LAN 2 is 111:64. IPv6 root 2001 DB8 :1 :11 :64. Okay, 11 space through ISP2 router. Okay, NATS hop. Okay, ISP1 through ISP2. The NATS hop for ISP1 is gigabit 00 on ISP2. Gigabit on ISP2, gigabit 00, F: 2. 2001 DB8 F: 2, and don't forget administrative distance of 5, enter. If your configuration has been completed correctly, you should be able to ping the web server from the hosts on LAN 1 and LAN 2. In addition, if the primary root link is down, connectivity between LAN host and the web server should still exist. Okay, for example, from PCA command prompt, ping the customer server 198.0.0.10, 198.0.0.10, enter. Okay. Customer server IPv4 198.0.0.10, success. This is the IPv6 address 2001 DB8 FF column 10. Okay, ping 2001 DB8 FF column 10. Okay, F, enter, success. Okay, and this is the primary link, the primary route. What happens if you will disable this interface serial 000 on each router? Enter. Enable configure terminal interface serial 000 shutdown. Enter. Okay, now it's in red, it's shut down. And from PCA, try to ping the web server 198.0.0.10. Okay, from PCA to customer server. Very good, and repeat the command success, and also try with IPv6 success. Configure host routes. Configure IPv4 host routes on edge router. Okay, go to edge router, interface CL0, no shutdown. Okay, to re-establish the primary route. Okay, sorry, interface CL00, no shutdown. Okay. Okay, enter, and on edge router, configure IPv4 directly connected host route to the customer server. Okay, the destination is not the network, it's only the host. Not the network 198.0.0.0.24, only the host 198.0.0.10. Okay, this is the destination. Exit, and global configuration mode IP route 198.0.0.10. For host, you will configure this subnet mask. Okay, 32 or 255, 255, 255, 255. This is for host. And directly connected. Okay, directly connected. For directly connected, you will use a local interface. If this is the primary route, this link, the local interface is serial 000. Okay, don't worry if you will configure serial 00 as the directly connected. This local interface serial 000. Okay, because 000, because you are the edge router, use the primary link through ISP to reach the server. Directly connected, use the local interface serial 000. Very good, but this is okay. Very well configured. Okay, but this packet tracer has an error. This should be NAT hub, not directly connected. Should be NAT hub. Okay, remove this. The NAT hub and on this link for edge router is serial 000 on ISP1. ISP1 serial 000. 10 10 10 1. 10 10 10 1. Okay, very good. Enter. Now on edge router, configure an IPv4 directly connected floating host route. Okay, host route to the customer server. IP route, customer server IP address is a host, so use this subnet mask. Directly connected uses the local interface. Okay, this configuration should be for the redundant link, for the secondary link. Okay, and this is the secondary link between edge router and ISP2. So you will configure on edge router through ISP2 to reach the customer server, and the local interface on edge router for this link is serial 001 on edge router, because says directly connected, so use the local interface serial 0001 and use an administrative distance of 5 space administrative distance of 5. But again, this is an error. This error should be NAT hub, not directly connected. And on this link, the NAT hub IP address for edge router is serial 001 IP address on ISP2. ISP2 serial 001 IP address. Okay, 10 10 10 5. 10 10 10 5. And administrative distance of 5. Enter. Very good. Configure IPv6 host routes on edge router. Okay, on edge router, IPv6 NAT hub host route to the customer server. Okay, this is the customer server. The host for is F column 10. On edge router, IPv6 route 2001 DB8 F column 10. And for host on IPv6, the prefix is 128. And NAT hub, okay, through ISP1 router. You are configuring edge router through ISP1, and on this link, the NAT hub is for edge router. The NAT hub is serial 00 IPv6 address on ISP1. Serial on ISP1 serial 000 IPv6 address A1 colon 1 2001 DB8 A1 colon 1. Okay, enter. And finally, on edge router IPv6 directly connected floating host route to the customer server through ISP2 router. Okay, host route to the customer server. IPv6 route 2001 DB8 F column 10 is the host address for the customer server, and for host route use 128 prefix and directly connected, okay, through ISP2. You are configuring edge router through ISP2 to reach the customer server. And on this link, directly connected is the local interface on edge router. So the local interface is CL001 on edge router. CL001 on edge router. And administrative distance of 5. Administrative distance of 5. But again, this is an error. Directly connected should be NetHub. Also because it's not recommended to configure a local interface on IPv6 route. On IPv4, you have only one IPv4 address on an interface. But on IPv6, you can have many IPv6 addresses on an interface, so it's not recommended to use CL01. This should be NetHub, okay, and through ISP2. Through ISP2 is this link, and for edge router, the NetHub is CL001 on ISP2. On ISP2, CL001 is A2::1. A2::1. Okay, 2001 DB8 A2::1 space 5. Enter. 100%. Thank you very much.